Hello and welcome to the South Creamery farm again. Well, for you who watched the first episode, you'll know that the farm isn't actually ours yet. We got 1 year to try and make the $2 million that is going to cost us to take over just the bare farm. We won't get any of the livestock or machinery with it, just the land and the buildings, and hopefully be able to keep the creamery going at that point. But sorry, it's been a while since the last video. I've been quite busy, as you can probably see on this rather muddy looking truck. I've been working a lot on logging, so I'm actually going to take you up to the forest so I can show you a little bit, because as you might be able to see up in the top right hand corner there, we're about halfway already. $1 million has been made from logging. I'm telling you, it's been pretty hard going as well. That's just me, so you know, it's been a lot of working alone in the forest. And we started in one area, but it got really quite wet during springtime. In fact, it got so wet that working up some of the really steep hills that it turned out to be around in the forest, I had to move out and start working in a different area, because even though I got really good machinery, that forest is seriously slippy. But something else has happened in the meantime. I went down to the diner and got chatting with some people there. I don't know if you remember if you saw the first episode, but there was some rumors about treasure being buried in these regions, and it actually turns out that it's an old pirate treasure. There was an old pirate that went by the name of Blacksheep as hidden treasure in this area. So over the last couple of weeks during springtime here, I've been all around this area looking around. I've been finding little gold coins. Those little gold coins is now turning into quite a treasure hoard. As a matter of fact, I just unearthed the clue for the very last of those coins, which means the hoard will be complete and we'll be able to sell it off and hopefully make a good chunk of money that will help towards the farm. But before we get as far as that, what I'll do is I'll take you down through the take you down to the lumberyard. We've been working a lot with the guys down the lumberyard. They've actually been really good. At one point we got machinery stuck up in the forest, and they came up to help us. In return, I did a couple of timber runs with the truck for them. I made a couple of relatively modest investments as well in machinery in the meantime, which I'll show you in just a second as we come in here to begin with. So here we are. Here's the truck. Just hop out so we can have a look. So yeah, I bought this logging trailer to go with it. And actually, although it looks a bit dirty, the main work has been doing timber runs for the actual lumberyard here, because getting it in through the forest is nigh on impossible. We're going to drive up through the forest up to the areas where we've been working. And you're going to see why you're not really going to be able to bring that big trailer in. And in fact, even the buffalo has been struggling with some of the hills in here at times. So we're just going to take it nice and easy in here through the forest, because it gets really steep, as you can see. We're not actually into the part of the forest that is mine yet. Got to go down around this hill here, and then as we come up, there's a sharp left, and that's kind of where we turn up over the boundary to the bit of forest that I bought with all my money. All the money I had saved from before went into machinery and buying this patch of land, in the hope that I'll be able to fell enough trees to make the money so I can buy the farm and actually get on with some farming next year. So we're still in spring in the first year. So you can see here is the area where we started working first. Started cutting up. There's one log still lying up there on the hill, but yeah, up here, now that we got spring, we're starting to get a bit of undergrowth coming back up. But I'll just show you guys up here that we actually clear felled most of this area and started working up along the ridge here. And that was going quite well until the rain hit, and then it started getting really hard to keep the machinery moving in here. The ruts have kind of overgrown with grass again now that spring's kind of really set in. But as we were trying to move up the hills here, it became nigh on impossible. Got a stack of logs still lying here. Should be possible now to come back in and actually get those out, but at the time basically we were completely waterlogged down here and there was just no chance really of doing anything. So I'll take you out to where the new place is, but there's just one thing we gotta do first. Just gotta find my way back to the truck again first. It's quite easy to get lost inside this forest, as you can see. The angle here, it's actually quite a rough forest to be working in. But yeah, right down here is where the clues are pointing to, at the very last of the pirate Blacksheep's treasure should be hidden right up on these hillsides here. So if you want to come with me, I'm actually just going to take a little look up the hill here, because as you can see on my phone here down in the corner that I'm holding up, I've put a mark on. It's supposed to be, it's actually over on the other side of the road here. It's quite steep climbing around here, but like I say, if we find this one, then we're going to be able to sell the cash, and I've already got a seller lined up. Oh, here it is. This is it. The last of 100 pieces of pirate gold. We found them all. And that treasure sold for $1 million, which now takes me up to 2 million. That is a huge relief, I tell you. That means we've actually got the money that we need for the farm. So now, the rest of the logging that I'm going to be doing this year is going to be able to make money to go towards buying machinery. And of course livestock. Because the owner of the Creamery, he's got an old herd, but he's selling it off. So they're not part of the deal when I take over the farm. I am just getting empty buildings basically. So through moving around and talking to people while I was looking for all of the treasure, it was a good opportunity to meet a lot of the local people. It made me realize how many people around here actually work for the Creamery and is kind of dependent on it. So I now feel that it's going to be really important to, one of the first things I really do have to do is to get the dairy back up and running as soon as, with as little interruption as humanly possible, so we can keep these guys in a job. But yeah, we're just coming out to the next part here. You can see it is pretty bumpy, and I'm going to pull the truck over here because basically I've got the buffalo pretty much loaded up here. As you can see, we've been cutting out here. Here's my other investment. Bought a little old used tractor along with this little winch on the back here, and it is a fantastic piece of tool. It is so good for hauling and winching the logs out of the forest out to the road, because even this big strong machine has been struggling in some of the hills. So yeah, but basically I think we are just gonna get the seat turned around here, and then what we're gonna do, we're actually gonna take this back down to the lumber yard. It's pretty full already. I think I'm not gonna try and squeeze any more on there. We got the straps on. The actual cutter is just up here. We're starting to work our way down along this hillside here. So as you can see, there's actually still plenty of timber up in this part of the forest. Still our forest all the way up to the edge of the road, a little bit further up. So there's a decent amount of timber here. And as we're now moving into later spring, mid-spring and later spring and summer, we will be able to move back down to the hillier side of the forest because everything's drying back up again. So unless we get some big rainfalls, we should kind of be okay to start working on some more of this timber. But yeah, let's get this guy down, make some more money. But I tell you, it's a huge relief to know that we already got the money that it's actually going to cost to buy the farm. That's really going to help. Now I realize this first year is kind of a lot of logging, and so I'm probably not going to send as many video updates to you guys during this first year. But once we take over the farm, we'll be able to kind of step it up a bit. I've still got a lot of logging to do in this forest. We do have to leave some patches, especially up one of the mountain sides. Apparently, according to environmental surveys, it is home to some owls. I've heard them sometimes while I'm out in the forest working. So we can't clear fell the whole area because we want to make sure there's still a habitat for these guys. So I'm gonna try and leave a few of the ridges intact. Frankly, also because some of them are gonna get really hard to work all the way up over the sides. But I'm still optimistic that there's a good amount of timber in here, and that will actually still be able to cover a lot of money, and it'll free up some cash for us to buy cattle, to buy some machinery. I don't think we're going to be able to afford a huge amount of machinery straight away, but you know, we're getting started, and that's the most important. As you can see, the machine's actually still kind of struggling to get up these hills. It's still a bit slippy around here, but I'm certainly glad I did go for this. I had thought about just buying a smaller logging trailer instead and save a little bit of money, but to be honest, it just wouldn't have been able to cope in this forest because it is steep and it gets really muddy. The forecast is we are going to have a little bit of more rain, but it's not for a good few more days, so I'm pretty optimistic that I'll be able to get quite a lot of timber carted out in the meantime. If it's going really well and weather stays good and dry, maybe there'll even be an opportunity to look at doing a bit of contract work for some of the other farmers during the summer season, then pick up again on the logging in the autumn. If that's the case, obviously I will send you guys a video update here from the South Mountain. But for today, it's just going to be a relatively short little update, just to tell you guys that, you know, things are going well. Starting to know a lot of people in the area. I'm feeling a lot more optimistic. The guys in here at the sawmill, they are just fantastic. I don't even have to offload my logs. They do that for me as we come in. They are super efficient, and we basically just park up here for a second, and that's the guys already offloaded. They are super quick. They're super efficient. And that's another 30,000 up against the load. So you can see that first million that I earned before we found the treasure has taken quite a long time to get done in itself. But yeah, at this point it's really just me heading back up into the forest, get some more timber. We might actually be able to see if we can scale that hill from before. If you guys want to hang around for that, I'll see how it goes. It is lovely working in this forest. It's a beautiful place, and it's nice and peaceful and everything like that, but I have to admit, at the beginning of spring, when everything was really wet and cold still, it was pretty horrible. I had to work some really long days to haul that timber out. And now that the weather's getting better, yeah, we got the money, everything feels a little bit better, to be honest. I'm feeling a lot more optimistic about it again. I got my first little tractor. I think I might even keep that for the farm. I'm not sure about the rest of the logging equipment. Right, let's see. We can actually make it up these hills now. I have to get in through this underbrush here. And then follow the ridge down here. And I kind of got to try and get down this. There's another step down the slope. You can kind of get through right over here. There's kind of a break in the hill. But it gets pretty steep. And I don't know. We might actually have to use the other tractor to winch it up if this gets too steep. But let's just see. Where was it? I lost my own logs. Right, sorry guys, hold on a second. I'm just gonna take a quick look over here. Ah, yeah, it was down here. Yeah, it's a bit tough getting down here. I'm not sure whether it's gonna cope. Let's give it a shot, shall we? Oh, somebody brought a phone in case we get stuck here, because it's getting pretty steep already. Right, here we go. Here we go. Even if I could make it down here, I might not actually be able to make it back up again. It would have to go around the other side instead. Let's see if we can do it from that side. Maybe actually come in from down where the road is. That's the really tricky part about working in a really mountainous forest like this. Even after working here for this amount of time, it can still be a major challenge to find the right way through sometimes. So, I'm going to follow the road around here instead. There we go. Obviously at some points I probably also need to cut some of these stumps out. And there's a way of applying for a grant apparently, so that if you start replanting the forest, you might be able to get some support for that. Now let's see, if I was to try and cut up on this side instead. Oh, sorry. Bouncing right through the branches here. But let's see. We try and cut up this hill instead. Oh god. It is. I'm getting my arm stuck here. If we lower that a bit, and we can get through. Okay. There we go. There we go. That's no good. That is still back at the same place. Oh man. Really? Yeah. Here we go. Here we go. Let's try this way. There it is. This was the gap we should have gone through before. But okay, yeah, we're making it in. We haven't gotten stuck this time, and the ground is a lot better in here than it was before. So there we go. Fantastic. I can start getting some logs loaded again. And there'll be another nice little batch for us to get down to the sawmill. But yeah, anyway guys, that was really it for this time. I hope you enjoyed the little video update. I'm going to do some more logging, see if there's an opportunity to do a bit of farm work, and otherwise you'll hear back from me soon. Thanks.